I've heard some things from my most trusted Khans that makes me wonder whether this alliance is a good idea after all. But I want to leave a legacy of greatness when I die. My tribe deserves better than this, cowering in a canyon and living on scraps. Tell me then, if I don't join with Caesar's legion, where will I find my tribe's lost glory? The followers of the Apocalypse keep many records of the past. It's been a long time since we associated with them, but they might have something. Until you do find me something, though, know that I still plan to lead the great Khans to fight for Caesar.
Are you here to drop off medical supplies? Leave them with the rest in the middle of the courtyard. The Great Khans. Oh, you mean those raiders that used to clash with the Vegas tribes? Yes, some years back we taught them reading, writing, basic science. We hoped they would use it to make medical supplies, but they turned to drugs. I was never much involved in the cultural side of that project, but Ezekiel was. He's a member of the followers like myself, but his particular field is pre-war history and tribal culture. I do recall him being fascinated by the Khans. He kept going on about parallels to some ancient historical empire or another. He rarely stops in here these days. You'd do best to look for him out in the wastes east of New Vegas. He's always looking for new tribes to study.
You look like someone with a question. What can I do for you? Oh my, yes. They're a fascinating tribe with a long and unfortunately tragic history. Their original incarnation, much farther out west, was almost completely wiped out by one of those itinerant heroes so common in the post-war years. Then, of course, the new Khans suffered a similar fate. Some say at the hands of the same hero, though of course the dates are all wrong for that. Well, after they migrated to the Mojave, we established relations with them, but that soured when all they wanted was to make drugs. The NCR eventually took them down quite a bit, but the really fascinating thing about them is the origin of their culture as a whole. You see, oh, of course. I'm sorry, I do tend to get wrapped up in my own theories and forget that not everyone finds them as fascinating as I do. Here, I salvaged this book from an old library. It's a history of people called the Mongols. I think that's what the Khans built their culture on. You should read it. It's fascinating stuff.
You've been doing good things for us. Don't think I haven't noticed. What can I do for you? This is exactly the kind of symbol the Khans could unite behind. We'll begin readying the camp to move. As soon as Caesar makes his move, we'll depart. We will make ourselves strong again, and we shall conquer. Whatever your motivation was, I think we owe you a debt. I should have you torn apart for speaking like that. But maybe you're right. The glory of the past is an empty dream. If the Khans are to be immortal, we must make our own destiny. We won't fight for Caesar, but when he strikes, we will ride out one last time.